from a mobile location. So we get the intro coming in. And hello, South Florida and the rest of the real estate world out there. Welcome to another live edition of the Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate and America's longest running daily radio show, all about the topic, well, you guessed it, real estate. My name is Eric Willner, and I'm your host, and we are here live Monday through Friday. That's 5 days a week, live at 5 p.m. That's Eastern Time, and coming at you 5 different ways on the AM, the FM, on the apps. Take us with you on the go on any of the free apps that you can download that listens to the radio stations. Just look for WWNN, iHeartRadio, TuneIn app, and so forth. And you can even listen to us on the WWNN app. They have their own app. It's free. Download it. Listen to this station all day long. But remember, come here live at 5. We also have our website. If all else fails, just remember, automaticlandlord.com. That's automaticlandlord.com. And just go to the top of the page there where it says The Real Estate Show. Click on the drop down. If you're there at 5, you can listen to us live. If you're not there, at your convenience, you can listen to any of our past recorded shows. They're all up there with notes and a link that allows you to listen to it the entire show and as it was recorded live. Or you can also download and take the podcast version and take it with you and listen to us offline. And then, of course, finally, we're also live on Facebook right now from our location right here on the road. We're live on Facebook. So I just want to say hi. Hey there, Marianne is watching us live. And so every once in a while, I'll say hi to somebody live. We got a great show for you today. I've had a tremendous week, and it's been a very activity-packed. And late last night, while I was out having dinner, I got a news alert, and I'm going to tell you all about it in just a minute. That was one that is I will tell you that I wasn't expecting it last night. I knew that this day would come, and this is a very important day here for real estate. So that's why I wanted to make sure that we had a live show. So stay tuned. We're going to talk a lot about that. But before I get into the sort of the meat and potatoes of today's show, and which of course, today is our Friday show. We wrap up the week and then talk about anything that's relevant or very important right now. And there was a Supreme Court ruling that came out last night that could potentially change a lot of things for a lot of people. So today I'm going to give out our text line, the Real Estate Show Smart text line, because today's show could be important for 2 particular types of people. And so remember the phone number, which is 561. Well, I'm going to come back to that in just a second because I want to give out the words, and you want to write these 2 words down. The words are is credit, and the second word is going to be investor. This is going to affect you. It's either going to affect your credit or it's going to be an investment opportunity for you right now. One of those 2 things. So anyway, coming back to this conversation, I want to tell you a story first. And this is going to highlight a little bit of what we were talking about. So this young man who had been engaged for a while and planning his wedding. And so it finally came to wedding day. And the young man is up in Syracuse, New York, and he had to meet his bride down in Rochester. And he was obviously going to come there. He's getting on a train. He planned everything, packed his bag the night before, got everything ready, gets to the train station early. And because today's his wedding day, and at 10 o'clock, he's getting married. So he does not want to miss the train. And luckily, it's a regular train. And very often, it's or almost always on time. So he gets there an hour early, brings his bags, his luggage and everything, finds who's going to be the porter on his train. And he says, here, I'm going to give you $50 up front. And here, this is what it's for. I know it's early in the morning. I've been up all night, all excited. I'm getting married today at 10 o'clock. I have to be there on time. I'm catching the flight, the train here at 7 a.m. And when the train gets to Rochester, I want you to wake me up. And I don't care if I'm asleep, throw water on me. If I'm disoriented or fight you, don't matter. No matter what I do, no matter what I say, make sure I get off the train in Rochester. And so he gives him the $50. He gets on the train. He thinks everything is going well, and falls asleep finally. He's been stressed out. He's been nervous this whole entire week getting ready, and he goes to sleep. Well, all of a sudden he wakes up, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and the porter didn't wake him up. He woke up at Grand Central Station in New York City instead of getting off earlier in Rochester. So angry, frustrated, freaking out, he goes to the goes and find the porter. He goes, "What happened? What did you do? You forgot to wake me up. Why didn't you do it?" And he was just absolutely angry. And the porter, he was speechless. And he goes, "I want my money back." Blah blah blah. He gets off the train, and now he's got to go make a phone call quick. He's got to delay the wedding. He's got to do all sorts of things. And the conductor comes up to him, and he says, "Boy, was that guy mad." And the porter goes, "Well, you should have seen the guy that I threw off in Rochester. He was mad." And the point of the story, and I took this story here that someone shared with me earlier today. Stuff happens, right? Stuff happens. You could plan all that you want. You can get prepared. You can do all the arrangements that you think are necessary, and yet in life, stuff happens. And it's how we adapt and how we can adjust to those things is what the real and final outcome on. Of course, he's not gonna lose his wedding over this. It's gonna be delayed, maybe later in the day, maybe later on. Doesn't matter. It will still happen. But now he's gonna have to adjust. The point of the story is that you could have done everything, right? He even paid the guy extra money to do it. Thought he had everything planned. And last night, the Supreme Court came out and ruled that it is okay to move forward with evictions. So they have now lifted, and that was the ruling yesterday. Last night, it came out that the eviction moratorium is now up, and that's very important. And what we're going to see now is a lot of people are going to scramble. Certainly, landlords that have been held at bay for all of this time. They're going to move forward, and they're going to do as much as they can to now right the ship that has been forever so long without cash flow. They're going to get their property control back, and that's their side of the business. Tenants, on the other hand, are going to have to scramble because now whatever protection, if they are unable or were unable and haven't yet gotten back into the swing of making payments, well, and not only making the payments, but now they may be called upon to make back payments. So credit is going to be a very big issue. Credit is now completely in play. So, and needless to say, once the eviction moratoriums are lifted, quite frankly, even the foreclosure moratoriums are also being about ready to be lifted. We knew this was coming. Remember, the extension was only for 60 days and subject to, the whole conversation. Remember, if you want to look at the individual and particular days, you can go back and listen to last week's show and the week before, when we talked at length for the whole entire week about this. But now we're at the point, a very sensitive point, that we're now going to have to deal with the fact that the banks are going to move forward, the landlords are going to move forward, and those tenants that are not ready to make payments, they're going to move out. So this is going to be a very interesting week. And next week, I'm going to call next week being the new chapter. And this is going to be a new chapter in real estate. And it's going to be an opportunity for some, a big opportunity and a big disruption. But here's a very interesting thing. You might notice that I'm in a different setting and I'm in a different place. And that everything, the backgrounds are different. Well, here's the thing. There's been some disruption, obviously, in the marketplace, but disruption creates opportunity. And that's what we're going to talk about next week. All next week, we're going to talk about the opportunity. We've all had disruptions in our life. And depending on how we react to those disruptions dictates what the outcome really is. Disruption could be something that absolutely shakes your foundation and puts you in a depression or in a complete disorientation. Or it can make you sit down and start looking at different options and different solutions. And this is one of the beautiful things about real estate, because, you know, go back to the time of Moses. Moses had to build the ark before the flood. He was told in in a communication that there was a flood coming, and he was told to prepare the ark, and he listened. A lot like what we talk about here in the real estate show. For a long time, we've been telling you to start building the ark, because the eviction moratoriums are going to end, the foreclosure moratoriums are going to end, and you're going to need your ark if you're affected in those situations. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, hear a few words from our sponsors. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about that, and I want to lay the foundation, because next week is going to be a very, very important week. And I'll also come back and I'm going to give out the phone number for our contacts. If you want to get information, if you want to get help, if you want to get orientation, and some free tips on what to do, whether you're on the landlord side or whether you're on the tenant side, now is the time to get a pencil and paper ready and write down the number when we come back. So don't touch that dial. You're listening to The Real Estate Show. My name is Eric Willner, and I'll be right back. Two, three, six, six. How do you like that, Marianne? Did I just hijack somebody else's story? That was to me, that story was right on point. It was just in time. Doris, Erica, I'm telling you, if we were to go by the number of folks that are on our Facebook Live, you would know that women are about to rule the real estate world. It is what it is. How's the sound, by the way? Are you guys getting good sound, considering I'm also hijacking the internet here on the road? Can you guys hear the background, the presentation? I'm watching it on the big screen, and I had to find a quiet corner, a little secret location. I snuck into the club. And welcome back. For those of you just joining us, you are listening to The Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program about real estate and America's longest running daily radio show all about real estate. And we are here broadcasting on the road, coming back on after a day of a recording. We weren't able to record yesterday, a live show, but I did want to finish the week off, especially because of the important developments that happen. And as I mentioned in the first half of the program, the Supreme Court last night ruled I should say, I guess, against the extension of the moratorium on evictions. So now there is no longer a moratorium on evictions. And so this is a very important piece of information that many people may or may not have already heard. I heard this last night. I got a special text on my phone at about 9:30 p.m. last night. And in fact, several of my friends and clients and so forth that know that I've been talking about this for so long, trying to get everybody ready and prepared and giving you the steps and the things that you can do. The same way, whether it's an eviction or a foreclosure, if you wait until the last minute, the options begin to fall by the wayside, one by one. And as you have more time, you have more options. Less time, less options. And these problems, they happen for a number of different reasons. Sometimes it's a system failure, right? A system broke down somewhere along the way, and the system could have been, I had a job, I had an income, I made my payments, and either the job went away or I went away from the job. The industry got frozen by the pandemic. Whatever the case was, problems happen, right? And disruption happens. And sometimes we have control, many times we do not, or we have control over how we react to that. But in every case, one of the most healthiest things that you can do is take a step back and say, okay, this is a problem. What is the solution? And in every problem lies an opportunity. And it's what you do and how you turn that around is the difference. And like I made the comparison, Moses was told in advance that there was a flood coming, and probably he wasn't the only one that heard that communication, but he was the only one who listened and built the ark. And because of that, the story, history was made, and all of those that didn't heed the warning, that didn't heed the opportunity, there was going to be a flood, a disruption. The eviction moratorium was a flood that everybody knew would be coming. And to the extent, or what extent, ironically, the same day that they just announced, the next hurricane that hit Louisiana. By the way, 16 years to the day when Katrina hit New Orleans as a Category 3, they're expecting same day, 16 years later, another Category 3 there. So prayers out for New Orleans. But here again, in every disruption, what happened after the disruption in Katrina? There were a lot of construction jobs. Many lives were uprooted and disrupted, but others flourished because they saw, yes, there was a problem and a disruption. And that's what I really want to say. In fact, when you look, all of this was today, I think, being blamed on the pandemic as sort of the root cause for the markets freezing up, for the sheltering in place and everything. But think about all out of that disruption, which was a worldwide disruption that is now 18 months in length and still going on. And out of that, as you've heard me say, that have come a number of benefits. And here's the thing, because my message here is that disruption creates opportunity. And real estate, okay, a business, an industry that never stops for long. That is, a real estate is an industry, it's a business that never goes away. In fact, it won't go away, right? It's one of our basic human needs, food, shelter, transportation. Real estate is always going to be necessary and relevant. And so what happened as a result of this disruption? Well, we got something called telemedicine. It existed in some forms, not very well adapted, not particularly, people were not particularly interested, but all of a sudden that was the way to go see the doctor. It was good for the doctor because it minimized the doctor's exposure. It allowed them to triage what was urgent, that needs to go to the hospital, diagnose things, or just solve little problems without saying completely no to all the problems. Telemedicine, by the way, now when the pandemic goes away, is not going to go away. In fact, a lot of people like it now that they've tried it, and it is becoming a very preferred way to handle non-emergency type illnesses or health issues or wellness issues. That opens a whole new door for that. Let's talk about something really funny. And I had this very interesting conversation about drive-through, right? Where did drive-through come from? Drive-through was originally something that you did at banks to drop off deposits, either at the end of the day or early in the morning following a business day. And then restaurants saw that was a pretty interesting, and it evolved into just about everything. Well, in the pandemic, something new happened. First of all, not everybody had a drive-through to drive through. So they came up with something, and nobody wanted to have contact or have close proximity because of this new thing called social distancing. And now all of a sudden we have something called curbside pickup, and everybody and anybody can have it. In fact, the restaurants, the stores, the retailers that adapted and said, we have curbside pickup. Come do it. Just call it. Just place your order, make your purchase of whatever it is, whether it be a good service, food, whatever. And then when you come in, you just call in. Someone will come out, drop it off, or put it right outside. You can go pick it up right at the curb. That may not go away either. It's become very, very interesting. In fact, curbside pickup, to be honest with you, existed, and it wasn't called curbside pickup. But if you're a fan or a regular customer of Panera Bread, for the last several years, they have a shelf inside, so you can order by app or by phone, however you ordered it, for pickup. And instead of tying everybody up, they built a new area with shelves, and they put the bag in there, put the name on it. It was already paid for via your app. And so now it's just been adjusted to not be a shelf on the inside, but a shelf on the outside, a curbside pickup. Think about the Zoom phenomena that has happened, and all of this. P.S. Has there been an adaptation of all of this for real estate? Remember, real estate is one of the businesses right now that is in fact booming, right? Real estate is hot. In fact, if anything, the pandemic has helped to, elevate the value of real estate, not just from a point of view of leaving the cities to get out of crowded areas, but it elevated the importance. It made people understand the importance of the time, which is now a lot. And in many cases, it's been, for some people, not the 8 hours that I come home from work, sleep, and then get back and go to work, but all 24 hours, because it became our home, where we sleep, where we eat, where we ate all of our meals now because of the pandemic, where our children study, where we worked out, and where we then spend our leisure non-working hours as well. So the value, the quality of the home just rose, which is one of the reasons why there is a much higher perceived value. Now, it also changed the value of where real estate is valuable. Real estate used to be only valuable where the jobs, where the companies that offered the jobs were. Well, now, this week, at the beginning of the week, we started talking about the WFH factor, right? The work from home factor. Again, another change, another disruption, which created another opportunity, which is not going away, further making real estate more valuable. So I wanted to, before I get too far into the show, we have a real estate show smart line, and that line I'm gonna give it out to you, because I gave out the two keywords. The first keyword is credit. Because if you're on the wrong side of this eviction moratorium now ending, then credit is at risk. Whether you're a homeowner and not paying, you're still in forbearance. Whether you are a tenant not able to pay, I'm going to show you, because remember, nowhere else except for on the real estate show have you heard us talk about how to turn your rent payment into good credit when you pay it. When you don't, trust me, when you get a judgment for not making rent payments, that will become bad credit automatically. But I'm going to show you how to fix that. All you have to do is type the word credit and text it to 561-861-2366. That's 561-861-2366. Now, to the same number, 561-861-2366, I want you to type the word investor. If you're an investor and you've been waiting on the sidelines and saying, is now the time? I have a great opportunity. We have the opportunity to make 12% returns and higher. 12% returns and higher. You want to type the word investor to 561-861-2366. If you're interested in having double-digit returns as a real estate investor, and there's a number of different ways that we're going to be talking about that, then text the word investor to 561-861-2366. So we just talked about some of the disruption, and I just gave you a big hint today, and it's going to be in the news a lot more over the next few days. So next week, we're going to begin the next chapter in real estate, and you'll definitely want to be tuning it in right here. So the music is coming in. That's why I hear the music coming in to tell us that we're out of time for today's show. And out of time may be another theme for us to talk about. But you're at the right place at the right time when you're listening to the Real Estate Show. Remember, tune in 5 days a week, Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. for all the good information and the critical information that you need here in real estate. So until our next show, next Monday, our recordings of all of our shows are going to be played on Sunday from 9 p.m. on. That's a replay of the entire week's show right here where you're listening to us for the recording. But our next live show, again, Monday, 5 p.m. So until then, this is your host, Eric Willner, signing off. Drive safe, wash those hands, and make it a great day. Bye-bye.